carry the cross and speak what we're taught.
Do you think we're capable of recognizing we are headed in the wrong direction?
Lies and money become the white man's God.
Do you think we can find our way home before it's too late?
The time has come now to draw the line. You know you got to stand, stand. I stand for what you believe. You know you got to stand, stand. I stand for what you believe.
Americans tend to be too comfortable with and too trusting of government. And it's understandable because, you know, once upon a time, the U.S. government was the envy of the whole world. It presided over the greatest freedom the world had ever known. Just 18 years ago, Obama headed the Chicago operations of Project Vote. 18 years ago, an Acorn affiliate. Obama boasts in his autobiography about how successful he was at registering voters in Chicago's South Side. Was to register as many Democratic voters as possible, legal or not, and assist them in voting, the more times the merrier. He was so successful, ladies and gentlemen, he was elected president in 2008. Legitimately or illegitimately remains to be seen. Even many Christians don't see it yet. Most don't have their priorities in life straight, not putting God first in their own lives. Too many Christians and Jews believe they're not to question government.
How come the president can insist on people not questioning his motives? Because we're all Americans.
It's the only paradigm that makes any sense given the policies of the Obama administration and the Democratic Congress. They are following a deliberate course to destroy the American free enterprise system, your freedom, and the American way of life.
I want you to react, because you brought it up, to this clip from President Obama at that prayer breakfast. Go.
Civility also requires relearning how to disagree without being disagreeable. But surely you can question my policies without questioning my faith. Or for that matter, my citizenship.
I like that. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. Wasn't that good?
I thought it was, I think it's interesting. I'd like to know if it was in the teleprompter or if it was an ad-lib, because this proves my point to all these people who are like, you're a birther, I'm a birther. Who's bringing up the birther? Who's bringing it up? This administration brings it up all the time.
He was elected president in 2008. Legitimately or illegitimately remains to be seen.
They need the birth certificate thing. Because it
I agree with you 100%.
The birthers are...
I agree with you. I think
you might as well just go on the payroll for Barack Obama.
Today, Obama is still employing the Cloward-Piven strategy, not as a community organizer, but today as the community organizer-in-chief. The goal remains the same as when it was at first outlined in 1966. It is, as the Marxists of the 60s and early 70s explained, to heighten the contradictions of capitalism, bring the system to its knees, and ultimately to collapse. You don't address the root cause, the constant tug of the cultural institutions pulling America in another direction, we will lose the war. Because, you know, once upon a time, the U.S. government was the envy of the whole world. It presided over the greatest freedom the world had ever known. But as Washington's power and reach grew well beyond its constitutional restrictions, something happened. started to supplant God. It became an idol. It became a source of worship. In other words, government wants to be your God, your one and only God. In other words, government wants to be your God, your one and only God. And the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God who led the people out of Egypt, and that God represents real competition. Because the God of the Christians and Jews says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." That's his first commandment. Don't worship idols. That's pretty much what the U.S. government has become for many Americans. And God says, "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God." The impact is already being felt in America today as government becomes godlike in the lives of so many citizens. And we're paying a price for it. And we'll continue to pay a bigger price for it for generations. Unless, of course, we as a people change our ways. But how? Now, the answer is simple. You can find it in 2 Chronicles 7:14. "If my people, which are called by my name,"
Yahuwah,
called by my name,
Yahuwah, Yahuwah. We have the name preserved in this word. Remember, he said, "This is my memorial forever," that this is his established name for all generations.
"shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. Then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land."
Now, again, this word is 4,000 years old. It hasn't changed. It has remained the same. It is a scientific wonder. In the Cherokee villages, it was written down by various people who came over to the Americas that the Cherokee Indians said hallelujah before any kind of missionary contact. It is an amazing testimony to our Father's name. We see in the word hallelujah. Hallelujah is a universal word. It is used all over the world. It is the same in 24,000 different dialects of language. It is a 4,000-year-old word. Any linguistic scholar will tell you that words change every couple of hundred years. But this word has stayed the same for 4,000 years. It is a Hebrew word. The word hallel means to praise. The u means you, and Yah is part of the Father's name. Many of you have been saying his name and you have no clue what you're even saying. It means praise you, Yah. And in keeping his name preserved in hallelujah, he has kept it so the nations can say part of his name without blaspheming his name. They have to praise his name. Also, if hallelujah is the same in 24,000 different languages, being the only word that is this way, it shows us a common point in language, showing that Hebrew is the root language of all languages, because the Father has miraculously preserved that name so that when we see it, we can pronounce it, we can speak it.
Don't wait for someone to lead you. Don't allow any politician or demagogue to hijack this beautiful movement. It kind of reminds me of an old joke.
You'd never see a pudgy, out-of-shape guy at 5 o'clock in the afternoon being the Antichrist, would you?
In other words, government wants to be your God, your one and only God.
If you watch his show, you almost have to smoke marijuana just to get through it.
Really?
So he's kind of undermining
So
the
have you
whole
ever watched
fabric,
the show?
right? No, because I never smoked marijuana.
Right. Okay. Oh, so you've never watched it? Here's the thing.